All right, listener, you ready to dive in? Today, we're going deep on a financial strategy you might not expect. Uh, Cash value life insurance.
It's one of those things you hear life insurance and think, okay, that's for later.
Right, like way later.
When you're gone, exactly.
But this deep dive, this is about how certain policies, they can actually work for you right now.
Right now, exactly. And it's funny because when I first heard this whole thing about life insurance as an investment, I was like, what?
Yeah, it does sound a little weird at first, but the more we dug into it for this deep dive, the more it's like, wait a minute.
There's something here.
There's really something here. So, okay, everyone knows basic life insurance. You pay in, your family's protected when you're gone.
Right. Important to have, of course, but that's just one piece. With cash value life insurance, there's this whole other layer.
Okay, so walk me through it.
So part of what you're paying, it goes into this separate account, your cash value. And this money, it doesn't just sit there, it grows.
So it's like what, a savings account, but inside the insurance?
Yeah, kind of, but way better. See, a regular savings account, you get a tiny bit of interest, right? Especially with inflation eating everything these days. But this cash value, it grows tax deferred.
And tax deferred, listener, this is huge E. That means you're not paying taxes on the growth every year like you would with a regular account. It's like your money gets to snowball without anyone taking little bites out of it along the way. And over time, that adds up big time.
It's all about compound growth. Imagine two acorns, okay? One you plant in a normal pot, the other in a pot that magically makes the tree grow twice as fast.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Which one gives you more shade, more acorns in the long run? That's what this tax-deferred growth is doing for your money.
Okay, that makes sense. But here's my question. If it's growing so much, can you even use that money while you're, still around?
Absolutely. And this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about infinite banking.
Infinite banking. Okay, that sounds kind of intimidating.
Okay, so infinite banking. It's really not as complicated as it sounds. Picture this Walt Disney, right?
Okay, Mickey Mouse, got it.
So he's got this idea for Disneyland, but banks, they weren't exactly lining up to give him money. Too risky, they thought.
Too many singing mice. Not enough profit margin, right?
Something like that. But see, Walt, he was smart. He had this cash value life insurance policy, been paying into it, building up that cash.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this.
He borrowed against his own policy to fund the whole dang thing. Disneyland, all those rides, the castle. That was partially funded by Walt becoming his own bank.
Wait, hold on. So he borrowed against his own money. That's allowed.
Yep, and that's the core of infinite banking. Instead of going to a regular bank for a loan, you become your own lender. You borrow against that cash value you've built up, and then you pay it back with interest to yourself.
Okay, so my money's growing in the policy. I can borrow against it when I need to, and then I'm basically paying that interest back to me. It's like a financial roundabout where I always win.
Exactly. You're leveraging your assets, building your own system, and still getting that awesome tax-deferred growth.
Okay, you're right. This does sound kind of amazing. But gotta ask, what's the catch? Because there's always a catch, right?
Well, it's not like some, get-rich-quick scheme. It takes work, commitment. Think of it like, a garden. You don't just sprinkle seeds and boom, instant tomatoes.
Right. Gotta weed, gotta water, gotta put in the effort.
Exactly. Same here. You make those regular premium payments, keep that cash value growing. It's consistent action, building something solid.
So no quick wins. Got it.
Yeah.
But you mentioned there are downsides too, things to watch out for. Like what?
One thing is the returns. Now, they're generally stable, pretty reliable, but compared to some super risky investments like individual stocks, yeah, you might not see those crazy high returns.
Okay, so trade-off. Lower risk, more steady growth, but maybe not hitting the lottery with returns.
Exactly. Depends on the person, Some people, they like the stock market roller coaster, the potential for huge wins. Others, they want that slow and steady growth, less risk. Cash value life insurance, it's more that second one.
Makes sense. Anything else listeners should be aware of?
Biggest thing, honestly, choosing the wrong policy. Not all cash value life insurance is created equal. Some have sneaky fees or rules about when you can access your cash that make things difficult. That's where a good expert is essential, someone who really understands this stuff.
So not like just calling up any insurance agent and saying, give me the infinite banking thing.
Definitely not. You need someone who gets you your finances, your goals, your risk tolerance, and finds the policy that fits.
Because a bad fit, that could really backfire, huh?
Big time. So do your research, read the fine print, ask questions, don't just jump into the first thing you see.
Speaking of good advice and finding the right fit,
sure.
Our deep dive research actually led us to a resource that might be super valuable for our listeners.
It did. And this is where we got to give a shout out to Chestnut Debt Free Academy. They're all about this, helping people understand cash value life insurance, especially for this whole infinite banking thing.
So they kind of take the guesswork out of it, like figure out what kind of coverage you need, how much cash value makes sense, all that.
Exactly. They cut through the jargon, help you make smart decisions. It's like having that friend who's really good with money, giving you personalized advice.
Which is so key. Like we've been saying, this isn't something you want to just wing it on.
Absolutely not. It's about building something strong and lasting, and they can help you do that.
So say someone's listening, they're intrigued, want to see if this whole cash value life insurance thing, this infinite banking, if it's right for them. What's the next step?
Easy. Reach out to Chestnut Debt Free Academy. They do free consultations. You can ask all your questions, see if it aligns with your goals. No pressure, just good information.
Like a test drive for your finances. Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's leave our listeners with something to think about. Imagine this, you need to make a big purchase. You need a new car maybe, or a down payment on a house, something big.
Yeah.
Or maybe, bam, surprise expense.
Right, life happens. But instead of that knee-jerk reaction, going to the bank for a loan, racking up credit card debt.
You use your own system.
Exactly. That cash value life insurance, that's your personal bank right there, working its magic.
You're like, I got this.
You're in control. You decide the terms because it's your money working for you. Powerful stuff.
So we're not just talking about a different way to invest. It's almost like a different way to think about money altogether, isn't it?
It really is. You're taking control, building something solid, and honestly, that's what financial freedom is all about, right?
Well said. Listener, we hope this deep dive into cash value, life insurance, and infinite banking, hope it's given you some things to think about. Maybe even spark some ideas about how to really take control of your finances.
Absolutely. And remember, knowledge is power. So do your research, ask questions, find those experts who can guide you.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time, listener, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.